Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't really have any updates or anything like that I can think of. Nothing really on my mind that I want to discuss. Just figured we'd get through the news and get it over with, and so that's what I plan on doing. There's quite a bit of news. I got looks like 8 tabs open in front of me. Some of it's some very serious stuff, and it is what it is. I'm going to give you the news. Probably not going to be a lot of commentary, but a newly released document shed light on attempts to influence Twitter. Of course, I'm sure you've heard about this over and over and over. The FBI constantly pressured Twitter for evidence for foreign influence campaigns. I mean, the information, by the way, that's coming out, I don't expect there to be anything done. I don't expect that there's going to be charges made. I'm not holding my breath for anything. I don't believe that there's going to be accountability for anything. I don't expect accountability at all anymore at this point. It is what it is. You know, there's a complete disconnect between the government and the people, and that's a given, I know. And even the people within themselves, though, there's no accountability. None. People won't take accountability. You can't make people be accountable. Well, I guess. I don't know. They've sure in the hell found a way to make me plenty accountable all my damn life. I've had it. I haven't seen my kids since 2014. There ain't a damn shred of evidence anywhere that would show that they would be in any way, shape, or form in any kind of... My kids came to me. I don't believe in ruling like an ass as a parent. I believe in ruling by respect. You respect them. You expect respect from them. And you keep that mutual relationship as long as you can. Obviously, at some point, the parent's going to have to step beyond that line to get the child back in that line. But I had been able to raise my children without screaming and yelling at them. Didn't need to. They knew if I was asking something of them that it was for a reason. That I wasn't just doing it because I'm dad and you listen to me. In fact, I promised my kids they would never hear that bullshit out of my mouth. I'm fed up. I'm just absolutely done. Anyway, that's beside the article. At times, the social media platform pushed back against the Bureau's claims of widespread disinformation campaigns by outside actors, according to excerpts from conversations between former Twitter executives and the FBI. The seventh batch of Twitter documents was published on Monday by author Michael Schellenberger with the blessing of company's new owner Elon Musk. The release was part of Musk's effort to provide transparency about Twitter's past decision-making. According to Schellenberger, the files provide insight into how the FBI primed Twitter throughout 2020 towards the eventual decision to block the story about Hunter Biden's business dealings with China, which were found on his laptop and reported on by the New York Post in October of that year. The Post broke the story in the weeks leading up to the presidential election, which was won by Joe Biden, Hunter Biden's father. The FBI, I know I'm reading it wrong. The FBI's interactions with Twitter were, were aimed at dismissing stories such as the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop story as Russian hack and leak operations, Schellenberger wrote in his lengthy Twitter thread. We have seen a sustained, if uncoordinated, effort by the IC or intelligence community to push us to share more info and change our data sharing policies. They are probing and pushing everywhere they can, including by whispering to congressional staff. Twitter's former policy director, Carlos Mane, or Mange, I'm not sure, wrote according to an excerpt. So, we get it. It's not anything that we didn't already know. It's just the confirmation of it. Again, I know that these stories sound great and they're nice and distracting and all, and see, but you know what? That's as far as it's going to go. It's going to be that little relief for everybody. See, we were right. But ain't nobody going to do a damn thing about it, and the people aren't going to stand up and demand it. So, not when you got too many idiots out there cheerleading for this political party or that political party. That's not the answer. Ridiculous. All we're doing by supporting these political parties is supporting the very things that they're doing. Both sides. Both sides. And if any of them had any integrity to look at what their own team is doing, it's ridiculous. It's no excuse. Do you know how much shit I have dealt with in my life that I kept inside, that I just kept? Why? Because it's not right for me to carry that on. And these people can't even be honest about their own members. I mean, whether it's the FBI, whether it's a political party, whether it's the intelligence, well, that is the FBI, but I want some accountability. I beg for accountability. You know, I think that's probably why I cling on to the good book so much. Because don't get me wrong, I've done a lot of bad stuff. But I also know the stuff that I didn't do. And I'm ready. I'm ready. When I look out at the world and I see what's going on, I see the way people are acting, I know who I am. He knows who I am. I'm freaking ready. Just is. The White House has declined to comment on the latest revelations from the Twitter files, which appear to show that the FBI was involved in a campaign to preemptively discredit reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop and quash it after publication. I'm just going to refer you to the FBI. I'm not going to comment from here about that, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, I don't know how her name said during a daily briefing on Monday when asked about the allegations. The son of current president and then candidate Joe Biden forgot his laptop at a repair shop in Delaware, the owner of which was later was subpoenaed by the FBI to relinquish it. However, he made a copy of the information on the device, which was then handed over to the New York Post during the 2020 election campaign. You know all the rest of the story. But nothing will happen. They're going to dodge the questions. The people will just accept it. And that's that. I cannot stand injustice. This is where the show got its headline from, actually. This article here. World is on a slow-motion train wreck. It says, I believe it's Nouriel Roubini. Says the global community is facing a host of new threats which may drive it back to the times of wars, pandemics, and famine. Renowned economist Nouriel Roubini told the Financial Times. According to the man dubbed Dr. Doom by Wall Street, the period of optimism and growth that lasted for the past 75 years is an exception for humanity, not a rule. I would agree with that. I think that really the world is on a slow-motion train wreck. There are major new threats that did not exist before, and they are building up, and we're doing very little about it, the economist stated. You know, look, if these nations were really concerned about their nations, they would be working to deal with this. They would be going, okay, look, back in the 80s, 90s, just after the millennium, companies were just filing out of the United States to move, to go to other countries for cheaper labor, more overhead. Trump, and I hate to say it, but he had the right idea when he started putting all the tariffs on imports. When he started penalizing the companies that wanted to continue to profit largely off of U.S. citizens, but not help U.S. citizens make money. That's the answer. All of these nations fending for themselves, but at the same time working with one another. For instance, if we just unlatched from China's teat, we wouldn't even be able to have medications to keep people alive. So, unlike their genius theory about energy over there across the pond, maybe our government ought to incentivize people to start making medical manufacturing facilities here. That is the way we fix this. If we wanted to fix this. But these nations don't want to. See, they fall for the same thing that many other people in society fall for, and they gotta step on as many people as they can to get to the top. Because that somehow is what matters in life. We are in some very deep financial trouble. There is no way out of it that they're going to provide us. Well, they're going to provide us one. Don't get me wrong. But when I say there's no way out of it, I'm talking about for us. There's no way out of it. They're going to have the answer, and, well, by golly, it's going to be the only damn thing available, too. How lucky are we? Right? And you know what? Nobody will do nothing. Nobody will do nothing. Look at this. I bet we're looking for this in the future. Nationalization of German gas giant approved, says Reuters. Wow. I really can't believe that was approved. Let's read, shall we? Shareholders of struggling German gas importer Uniper on Monday approved the company's state bailout, which has so far cost the government more than 600, or where the hell did I get the 6? More than 50 billion euros, or $54 billion, Reuters reports. Really? So, let me de-CEO that for you. Basically, what it means is the shareholders got a golden parachute while everybody else is going to get the shaft. Okay? That's the long and the short of it. Shareholders, or at least certain individuals with this gas importer, got a golden parachute, and screw everybody else. Company's investors reportedly voted in favor of the two main measures, an €8 billion or $8.4 billion capital injection by the state, and allowing for further injection of up to 25 billion euros, or near $27 billion. Uniper CEO Klaus-Dieter Maubach reportedly called a virtual extraordinary shareholder meeting earlier on Monday to approve the bailout plan and nationalization, warning that the firm will otherwise have to consider insolvency. So let me get this straight. The government put this company in a position to where they could no longer be viable. And then now the government is going to give these individuals their golden parachute and just take it over. Imagine that. The warning followed last week's approval by the European Commission of the energy giant's takeover by the German government. The measures are indispensable for this company's future, Maubach said, as quoted by Reuters. If approval is not granted, we would have to review very critically the so-called going concern forecast for our company. In the management board's view, a possible insolvency, sorry, I didn't mean to pee so loud in the mic, could lead to a complete loss for shareholders, he warned. I've got a pop filter, but to be honest, it doesn't do a whole lot. Look, folks, I don't know what to tell people, but there's no way out of this. There's not. There was possibly a way out of it a decade or 12, 15 years ago. Maybe then we could have had some effect on this stuff, but not now. Not now. Kind of part of the reasons why I'm so pissed off. I've been doing this show since 2014. I've been raising hell my entire life. And I was absolutely talking about the direction of energy in the nations. It was horrifying what I was seeing. You know, there are laws that are in place. I believe it's a federal thing, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. It might be state, but I'm pretty sure it's federal. That there has to be, you know, in other words, if somebody else comes as a competitor for, say, utilities, they have to allow it. If somebody wants to compete, like on the utility market, they have to allow that competition. Because that makes it fair for rates and stuff like that. You know, a little bit of competition. How many of you actually have a choice between different power companies? I'm not talking about different providers. That's different. Power companies. Because all those different providers in the areas that have all that stuff, we don't have that here. You can't do that here. Because the city of Highland is our power provider. But they get it from Ameren. Okay, so it's still Ameren that's getting the money. In the end, it's still Ameren. However, our bill comes from the city here. And we pay the city. A lot of people aren't in quite that situation. Most people, you know, whoever the big state, you know, or the one part of their state, whoever takes care of that, that's pretty much all they got. Now, again, you can find all these different providers. It's still the same company that's actually putting energy through those lines. Now, it's a circle jerk. They've managed to loophole their way around any actual real competition. And then wouldn't you know it, every time it comes up that there's got to be a vote on whether or not they can raise rates, I'll be damned if every time it doesn't go through. You know, this whole thing of letting people do and account for themselves needs to stop. Needs to stop. There needs to be real accountability. And I am starting to see some. I am starting to see some glimmers of accountability. It's not that I'm not. But at 50 years old, all of the stuff that I've seen that people haven't been made accountable for and never will be made accountable for, it's going to take a whole hell of a lot of accountability to even make a difference. For me. Anyway, be careful. They're going to do the same thing here in the United States. I guarantee you they're going to do the same thing in the United States. I guess Jen's computer just blue screened, so she's in the back, so it'll be a little bit even after she gets back to the desk. See, Steve, that's why I need Steve, that's why I need USB drives. Her computer is very sick. It's not that it's got a virus, it's just the Windows is just so corrupted on it at this point. It just needs to be reinstalled, a fresh install of Windows. So, however, unlike the olden days where we had disks to install Windows, now it's done via USB. So, anyway, I'm pretty sure it's Windows. I think Windows is just corrupted to the point. I'm going to redo it. And if it keeps it up, if it does it even after I redo Windows, then I'm going to do the next obvious thing, and that is put a different hard drive in it. So, let's see. Yes, I was talking about nationalization of energy here in the U.S. I see it coming. I see it coming. I mean, I think in a sense, in kind of a sense, they've already kind of got some of that going on. but not on an official level. I could be wrong. Let me know if I am. You are the man that would know that. Let's see. Germany suspends procurement of faulty armored vehicles. Yeah, this is Germany's F-35. The German military has halted any purchases of the Puma infantry fighting vehicles, which have been plagued by numerous malfunctions, until they were fully fit for combat, German Defense Minister Christine Lambrecht said on Monday. Like I said, they're absolutely the F-35 of tanks. Last week, German media reported that multiple Pumas broke down during a training exercise. Berlin admitted that the incident had indeed taken place, with Lambrecht describing the recent failures as a major setback. You think? The minister said Germany would not purchase any more Pumas until they proved to be reliable, calling the parliament's criticism on the matter entirely justified, and adding that our troops must be able to rely on weapon systems being robust and stable in combat. Yeah, usually you want that as part of the features. The Defense Ministry also stated that while NATO's Very High Readiness Joint Task Force would not receive brand new vehicles, they would be replaced with older Marder IFVs, which were first deployed in the 1970s at the height of the Cold War. Last week, the German magazine Der Spiegel reported, citing a Bundeswehr internal document, that all of the 18 Pumas that took part in the training exercise had become inoperable due to numerous technical issues. The electronics were said to have been prone to problems, with one vehicle experiencing a fire in the driver's compartment. So, again, I reiterate, the F-35 of tanks. Crazy. It really is. I mean, nuts. Hang on, I need some coffee. So then this is going on, and I'll refresh it. I doubt there's any more new information on it, but it really makes you think. It really makes you wonder. Explosion rocks major Russian gas pipeline. I really don't know what to think as far as if this is just something that happened or if it was encouraged to happen a little bit. At this point in time, I'm in the mindset that it was an accident, that they were actually doing work and something had happened. Article here, it says, an explosion has rocked a pipeline in Russia's Chuvash Republic, several hundred kilometers east of Moscow, causing a major fire, local officials said. Hang on. Steve said back in March of 2020, sent out an email with the COVID thing and said that all with the email subject heading of, can you spell nationalization? I guarantee you I've still got the email. I bet you. The heading, can you spell nationalization? Hang on, I got to do this. Dreaming of Yep. It was actually, can anyone spell the word nationalization? You missed word, young man. Yeah, I've got it right here. Mike, one of the things we didn't get to in our conversation was I said to myself a couple of months ago concerning the takeover in this country. Can anyone spell the word nationalization? So, anyway, yeah, I've got it, obviously. Yeah. I'm sure you saw it coming long before I did because you work directly in the industry. So I'm sure you really saw it. Yeah, now use it in a sentence. Uh, yeah, I'm sure you saw it long before I did. No doubt about that. Let's see here. Let's go down and say local administration's press service said the blast occurred along the Uringoi Pomeri Uzgorod pipeline. Hey, I tried. I get an E for effort, right? It added the operating company had been conducting maintenance work on the conduit before the fire broke out. Of the 3 dead and 1 injured, all of them were working on the gas pipeline, local emergency services confirmed. The Regional Directorate of Russia's Ministry of Emergency Situations said earlier that the fire was caused by a gas leak at an underground pipeline close to the village of Yambatino. It added that it had sent several firefighting crews to the scene. So pretty crazy little bit of video there. Really crazy. They said you couldn't even get anywhere near the fire. It was so hot. Crazy. So, now, here's the thing. If this is the work of shadiness, not necessarily will Russia just come out and say it. You know, in other words, if somebody got one in on them, a good one in on them, they might be hesitant to say that. I don't know. You know, I don't know what the deal is with this. So, anyway, gotta keep an eye on this stuff. We, here, Highland, meaning Highland, where we live, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I had ever heard, that they were opening up a warming facility. I don't remember ever hearing about them doing that in the past, ever. And there's our town has a little app now that you can install on your phone, you know, so they can track you. And then, man, we are getting tracked 12 ways from Sunday. If we wanted to do something about that, we should have spoke up over a dozen years ago. It is what it is. But they actually put an announcement out that they have a warming center set up, or will have a warming center set up here in town, and of course said the location of it. That's telling to me. It just really is. Let's see. Yeah, see, and I think, Steve, I think it's going to happen, man. I think they're going to do this lock, stock, and barrel all in one step when they, you know, save the day. I think they're going to offer us the new currency, the new digital currency. They're going to offer us the, you know, controlled energy. And the other thing that they're going to do is take over the other thing they're going to nationalize. You watch, because this is how they do it. They get the people behind it. You have to watch what it is that they're doing to try to encourage people to demand, right? And right now, in this particular moment in time, one of the things that the powers that be are trying to encourage is for people to demand an end to landlords, to demand an end to this nightmare that is housing at the moment in time. Yes, housing costs are just astronomical, insane. Where we live, it's not quite so bad. I mean, it can be where we live. But there are still some decent people, like our landlord in town, that doesn't want to just rob people blind. But rents up here, too. You know, I don't mean our home, but I mean in the town, rents up here considerably. And my landlord's even said that, you know, others have told him many, many times, man, you need to raise that price a little bit. He won't do it. He's a decent guy. So that's going to be the answer, see? what they're going to do is they're going to squeeze everybody so that everybody else has to squeeze everybody else a little bit more. And you got the squeeze going all the way down the line, you know. That old Reaganomics, you know, not just trickles down, it squeezes down too. And that's what's happening. And they're just going to keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing until we are completely at their mercy. That's their plan. Let's see. Hi there, Miss B. Stacy. Let's see. Yeah. Christopher, yeah, that was the one thing that Reagan said. That's one of the quotes I remember from Reagan very well. Let's see. Yep, we're still here. But yeah, I mean, I would expect, by the way, I don't know, I got off on another tangent, imagine that, but I would expect that we're probably going to see stuff happen here in the short term. Oh, that's kind of why I brought up the deal with the warming center in town, and with it being the first I remember, it actually concerned me that they might be thinking that we might have some issues. So, like with power. I don't know. Again, and I don't know what Highland's policies are, what they would do, and I don't know the full capability of their equipment, to be honest. But Highland has power generation capability. We have our own power plant here. I am pretty sure that they can provide power for the city. I'm pretty sure. But I'm not 100% on that. I don't know all the details. I know they went through and they redid the entire system since I've seen it. I saw it in junior high because I was a geek. And they had this deal to where you could run for these different positions. You know, one of them was mayor, one of them was police chief, stuff like that. And whoever it was that won those positions, that won the election for those positions, went and spent a day with that individual. And then I believe we had to do a report and stuff like that on it. Well, anyway, being the geek that I am, out of all the choices on the board, the one that stood out to me was the one that everybody else turned their nose at, and that was for the power company. I loved electricity. I loved everything to do with electricity. And so in junior high, I jumped at the chance to go spend a day at the Highland Power Plant and learn my way around the place, learn a little bit. And Brian Case was the God bless his soul. He was the gentleman that dealt with me that day. And then I turned around later on in life and paid him back by dating his daughter. True story. She was actually my first girlfriend. So, but anyway, I don't know if we can produce enough power for all of us or not. I would think so, but okay. I wanted to cover this. The last one's a doozy. And I'm just gonna briefly, on the last one, I'm gonna briefly touch it, throw it away, and be done with it. But I just think that it's something that people need to know. And be honest about and be accountable about. Mystery disease kills children in Afghanistan, says officials. So I'm just saying. An unknown pathogen has infected more than 80 people and killed 2 children in the Afghan province of Zabul, Taliban authorities said. The disease caused an intense fever and bleeding from the mouth and nose. Taliban public health chief Abdul Hakimi said that the clinics in the Shahjoy district of the province have seen a sharp increase in the numbers of people suffering from this suspicious disease in recent weeks. Afghanistan's Hashti Sub-Daily reported on Tuesday. Two patients died of the illness over the last week, the paper added, with Tolo News noting that both were children. Afghanistan is one of the world's least developed countries, and its public health care system was almost entirely funded by foreign donors until the Taliban seized power following the U.S. withdrawal. You mean the nightmare? In 2021. The World Health Organization now considers Afghanistan's health system on the brink of collapse, reporting that fewer than 1 in 5 state clinics are still open and diseases like polio are endemic. So, who knows? But just with the last few years that we've had, you know, just put a note up there somewhere. Let's see. I'm looking up there. Yeah, I think somebody's country practicing. Oh, man. Let's see. This. I keep trying to say it over and over and over. He's one of them. And he is. Now, I've said it, and I mean it when I say it, that I've got no problem with people wanting to live how it is that they want to live. Got no problem. But that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to sit there and host or go to some gala and support. In fact, I'm not going to give them support. I don't have to. I don't have to. It's just ridiculous how willing people are to absolutely throw everything that means anything to the Father under the bus. It's insane. But people are still, oh no, he's the man. Yeah. Anyway, I've got some headlines for you. Say, I'm not looking for a savior. I already have one. There ain't a single human being on this planet that can do for me what the real Savior can. And so I'm not going to bullshit myself. I'm not going to entertain myself. I'm not going to distract myself. I'm not going to placate myself just so I can feel good. As hard as it is, I'm going to look at things with a sober mind. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean I won't be stoned. But I'm going to look at everything honestly and openly. And I'm not going to try to sway the reality of the world in a direction that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. There is no person on this earth that's coming to save us. None of them. I don't care how big of a game they talk, because that's all it is talk. We've gotten so used to that in this country that so many people they just do it. Say whatever the hell, just let it just spill out of their mouths. But the horrific thing is the amount of people that will listen to them. That's what scares me. People will prop up their own demise before they'll humble themselves to be saved. Anyway, Putin sets priorities for security services. Trump responds to insurrection referrals. China becomes top global LNG importer. Major Russian bank launches new service in Iran. Harvey Weinstein convicted in another sexual assault trial. Made a hit with EU antitrust complaint. Covered that and that. EU countries order more Russian oil, says Transneft. Let's see. EU countries. Musk announces policy change for Twitter polls. Yeah, it's something to do with. I think you have to have a verified account. You got to pay your $8 a month or whatever to vote. You know, ever since he lost the poll, I think he thought he was going to win it. Is what it was. I think he actually thought he was going to win it, and he didn't. Let's see. Israel produces first ever national intelligence estimate report, says media. We would do a, national intelligence report, but it'd be a waste of time. Wouldn't find anything. A newly released document shed light. Actually, I've covered that. Musk criticizes media silence on U.S. migrant crisis. Verdict passed in trial of accessory to murder over 10,000 people. That was from the Holocaust, I hope folks are paying attention. Because all these years later, even though she was only 18 or 19 years old, she's being held accountable. Not really. Not really. I mean, she's getting, a 2-year suspended sentence? Sorry. I think they need to dig a ditch and fill it. Because these people weren't interested in stopping that from happening, to so many other people. We're supposed to stop them from being put in a ditch? Nah, I'm too much of an eye for an eye kind of guy for that nonsense. Let's see. Covered that. Germany suspends I covered that. Anti-TikTok measure added to the U.S. spending bill. Because that's majorly important. It's ridiculous. It really is. It really, truly is. It's new face of British money unveiled. India explains record troop deployment near China border. Putin bestows awards on acting heads of new regions. Developed states failed Africa on climate change, says Zimbabwe. Brits urged to be cautious with their ambulance calls. Explosion rocks major Russian gas pipeline. Covered that one, sorry. A gas price cap may worsen EU energy crisis, says Bloomberg. A burglar caught at Robert De Niro's house. That was kind of a whole whacked out story. See, I did a report on that earlier today. Mystery disease kills children. Oh, I covered that. Duh. A U.S. bill takes aim at Iranian officials and their children, because that's going to do a lot of good. U.S.-backed officials involved in massive fraud case, says media. Musk searching for new Twitter boss, says CNBC. Ukraine is not our ally, says an EU country president. A UK press watchdog reveals column with most complaints ever. Putin visited military operation zone, says Kremlin. Germany lost degree of trust in EU member, says envoy. White House comments on Iran after Biden's dead deal video. Taliban makes decision on women. A little bit of accountability here. The officer that shot, what was her name again? Atashiana. It took me a second to get it right. Atashiana Jefferson was her name. Yeah, she was murdered in her bedroom. It was, a wellness check. Wellness check where you just walk up and just shoot somebody to death because that's how you check their wellness. EU ex-top official admits corruption involvement, says media. I talked about an eye for an eye, didn't I? Eye for an eye. 12 years is not an eye for an eye. Let's see. Kosovo claims about Russia's vicious lie, says Serbia. The Kosovo wants Turkish attack drones, says an official. Hell, I want some attack drones. Damn. Who wouldn't? White House struggles to name VP's accomplishments. The whole damned White House don't have any accomplishments. So, if you're expecting to find something with that thing, good luck. Macron doubles down on security guarantees for Russia. Let's see. Zelensky headed to Washington, says the media. We don't want him here. We don't. Send him back. I covered that. Twitter directly assisted Pentagon's propaganda campaign. Yep, we knew that. But again, like I said before, ain't nothing going to be done about it. Oh, Mike, you got to have hope. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Is that with like a capital H or a lowercase h? I'm just curious. And with the hope, should I smoke some meth with that? Will that make it better or something? I don't know. Because I'll be honest, the hope thing doesn't really get my trigger going. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I always say, though. Yeah, he'll be begging Congress for more money. And I noticed, and I don't know when this was done, by the way, but last night as I'm perusing through Netflix, I saw that, I think it's David Letterman. Isn't David Letterman doing some stupid-ass show? His very first one was done with Obama. Anyway, I believe that... I swear, I think it was blurry because, yeah, but I believe it said Zelensky. I believe it said he did an episode with Zelensky, and I'm thinking, this is just, it's ridiculous. You know what? The answer's still the same, though. That's the good thing. There is a very, very, very bright silver lining to this. And that is, the answer for us is still the same. We just keep doing the same thing. Keep putting back food, keep getting ready. So when that day comes that they're squeezing everybody else like a pimple, you can fly the middle finger and say, no, I got my own, thank you. That's the only way to win. That's the only way to even be able to compete in what's going on, is by you having the supplies to be able to make it on your own without not just any of their help, but not with the availability of stores or Amazon or anything like that. Because I'm telling you, they will do whatever it takes to get us on our knees to accept what they have to offer. And I do believe at some point that's going to lead to some pretty rough times. That's what I see in our future. There is not ever in the history of mankind any government that has ever given back control. Never. Every single time in history, the people had to unite and fix the problem. So until the American public and the citizens of nations around the world decide that they're sick of it, they're done with it, and stand up, and for God's sake, stop talking about voting. Get off the fucking couch, turn off the damn TV, and do something. Until then, we're just bullshitting ourselves. Plain and simple. Now I see a whole lot of people bullshitting themselves. Just the way it is. Like I said, you won't find any more truthful video, like I've said many times, than one that was done by Monograph talking about comfortability. I think the name of the video was The Uncomfortable Truth. It was a chatty dude. He no longer has that, I don't believe, up anywhere, but I do. So you can search. I don't think it's hidden. Hang on, let me look before I depart. Let's see. Actually uploaded twice. Let me see the visibility on it. That one's unlisted. Hang on. I did ask him about this. Unlisted. Well, I'll give it in chat right now. I'll give it. So, I just don't want to. My intent is not to step on him. I have asked him if it's okay, and he told me yes, it was. You know, as long as I wasn't using it in any kind of negative context or anything. Absolutely not. Because I believe the man is so incredibly correct with this, it's scary. And in the chat now, I'm going to put the link to the video I'm talking about. And I already clicked off of it. I think it's called The Uncomfortable Truth, Chatty Do, something like that. I'm not sure what movie you're talking about, but wait a minute. I think that link didn't work right. Hang on. Oops, something went wrong. I don't know what the hell went wrong. Hang on. I don't know what could have went wrong. Copy link address. Let me try that one more time. Let me see if that will work. Oops. No, it took my chat away though. I know that. How the hell do I get back now? Hang on. Okay, I got the chat back. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm trying to give you the link. There's another one I've got here. Let me try to nab that link and see what happens. Copy link. Because I uploaded it twice. They're both showing as unlisted. Let me try that link. Let me see if that works. And, of course, No, something went wrong. I don't know why it's doing that. But I know that... Wait a minute. Let me try it in a different window. Yeah, that works. If you copy it and paste it, it'll work. I don't know why I can't click it in my chat. But, whatever reason, I can't anyway. I can't click it in my chat and get it to work. But, that video, if you were talking about that video, hell, I don't know. Hang on, let me tell you. Not very long. 17 minutes, 44 seconds, and it's called The Uncomfortable Truth Chatty Do. And if you want to know why it is that the American public will do nothing except watch their country get pissed away out from underneath of them, you need to watch that video. Because he hit the nail on the head. And it's just, it is what it is. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. I believe I got to take trash out tonight. And, I think, right? Yeah. And, all that good stuff. So I'm going to get the hell out of here. And, I don't know. Maybe we'll all be nuked by morning and we'll be glowing and everything and be happy. Too much wishful thinking. Anyway, I'm out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. I hope to see you then. And as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.